Hello, my friend. I am spiritual life coach Ryan Pearson, and I just want to connect with you for a moment here to talk to you about something that I've come to discover some years ago through personal development, through my own personal development, through helping other people with their personal development, and even more than personal development is spiritual enlightenment. And I started to look at what is everybody looking for on their path. You know, people who are into personal development and spiritual development. What's everybody really looking for? And what I believe when it comes down to it, you can say love, you can say inner peace, and all of those things are absolute. However, if you add them all together, I believe that they equal one word, and that is happiness. I believe everybody is searching for happiness. And I believe that a lot of people don't understand that they can have happiness at any moment. I think a lot of people are thinking that happiness is outside themselves. They're in the pursuit of happiness. And I don't believe that the pursuit of happiness is a healthy path. I believe choosing happiness in this present moment is a much healthier path. Wouldn't you agree? So that's really what I want to talk to you about, is the concept that really happiness is a choice. We can choose happiness at any moment. In any circumstance that we're in, we can choose to emotionally react to the situation, or we can choose to maintain our inner peace. Because really, it all comes down to perception and perspective. You can take any situation in your life, and your belief about that situation and your perception of that situation is indeed the reality. You and I could have the same exact circumstance happen in our lives. I could have one circumstance, and you could have that same circumstance, however, in your own life. And for one of us, for you perhaps, you could see that circumstance as being absolutely wonderful, absolutely perfect. I could take a different perception and see that same exact circumstance as being horrible, as being an absolute miserable occurrence in my life. It's perception, and that perception comes from our belief systems, it comes from our subconscious programming, it comes from a whole myriad of different factors that cause us to form our beliefs. So what I encourage you to do is, as you're going through your everyday life, check in, make a conscious awareness to check in with yourself and just ask yourself this question: am I happy right now? Am I happy right now? And if the answer is no, then look at why. And then ask the question, what would it take for me to be happy? What mental shift do I need to choose to make to be happy? How can I choose happiness in this moment? And then, rather than being in your head trying to figure it out, drop down into your intuition, drop down to that inner knowing that you feel in your heart, in your gut, and your answers are right there. It might just be a mental shift. You know, perhaps you ask yourself, am I happy right now? And the answer is no. And what you find is you were just in the grocery store, and when you were checking out, the grocery clerk just had a really bad attitude with you. Maybe they just were having a really bad day and gave you a snide remark, and their energy was low, and just kind of, without you really realizing it was happening, it just kind of brought you down, and you left the grocery store, and all of a sudden you're just feeling kind of crappy. Well, then what's it going to take in that situation for you to be happy? Well, a paradigm shift. You know, coming to the realization that grocery store clerk, that's their issue of being unhappy. It doesn't have to affect you. See, a lot of people are affected by other people's moods, by what other people do to them, how other people react to them, what other people say to them, how other people look at them. And they're automatically affected by that without even realizing it. See, it happens on a subconscious level. So if you can start practicing conscious awareness in your life, you can realize that happiness is a choice. So in that circumstance, if you could say that the grocery clerk, that's their reality, and they're choosing to be unhappy, they're choosing to be in a bad mood, they're choosing to not like their job, and you can just understand that that's their stuff, not yours, then that frees you from having to be affected by it. You don't have to be affected by anybody else's reality. You get to choose your feelings in every moment. Now, I know what's going through some people's mind as they're watching this video. Well, I don't believe that, because some circumstances that happen in life, there's no way that you can be happy. What if somebody dies? What if someone you know is something horrible happened to them? What if somebody was just in a bad car accident? Well, I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm saying even in those situations, you can make a choice. You can make a choice of how you want to see that situation. And happiness is still a choice even in those situations. Because looking at it from a higher perspective, not in an ego sense of higher, but in a spiritual, all-knowing God perspective, if you will, everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Every car wreck, every accident, every death, every financial crisis, it's all perfect in the divine spectrum of things, because they're happening for a reason. They are happening so that our souls can grow, so that our souls can evolve. See, we're here in this human experience, in this human body, for the evolution of our soul. This is a giant classroom that we're in, and every experience, everything that happens is an opportunity for us to grow. And the ones that seem absolutely wretchedly horrible, that just seem to our human experience just wretched beyond all belief and horrible, and how could this happen? How could a loving God do this to us? Those situations are the most important of all. They are the most crucial situations that cause the most growth in our lives for our soul. So those situations that just seem so horrible, for the person that it's happening to, extreme growth. Very, 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 very heavy growth going on for their soul. And if you look at it from a different perspective, that's a beautiful thing. And anything that happens in our lives doesn't only affect us, but it happens those around. So you, who's being affected by that, that's an opportunity for your growth also. So I guess the most important thing to take from this message is that in every moment, you have a choice. You have a choice of how to feel. You have a choice of your perspective of the situation. You have a choice of your thoughts. And you have a choice to remain peaceful. You have a choice to remain happy. You have a choice to recognize that no matter what is happening in your life, in someone else's life, in the world, it's absolute divine perfection. And it's happening for the purpose of the evolution of the human consciousness. Each of our souls individually evolving in this dramatic comedy that we call life. So I hope that you will start practicing becoming more aware, becoming aware of when you're unconsciously reacting to somebody or something and feeling bad and being unhappy without even realizing it. Becoming more aware, consciously aware of the thoughts that you're holding in your head. Becoming more consciously aware of the thoughts that you're having and the way you're seeing things, and ask one question: is it true? Or is it just your perception? And I would say 100% of the time, it's your perception. Because in this world that we live in this three-dimensional world, there is only one truth, and that is the truth of the all that is, of God, the higher power, whatever you want to call it. Everything else is just an illusion. Everything else is just a creation that we're creating to live in this world and evolve our souls. So remember, happiness is a choice, and I wish you the power, the strength, the wisdom, the courage to choose happiness in every moment.